Hello guys, you're watching Cryptodealers YouTube channel. My name is Jan, and today my guest is Oliver Birch.
Hey everyone, my name is Oliver Birch. I am Head of Global Communications, and I also lead the community on a global level.
Hi Oliver. So could you please tell me how long have you been in Wanchain, and what have you accomplished while you were with the team?
So today actually marks the first year anniversary at Wanchain. So I joined there last August in 2017, and we had 60 people on our Slack channel for the international community, and I helped build the community up throughout the time I was there on our different social platforms, helping with the local meetups, and then managing the different community managers on a global level. So we have over 200,000 members today. Thank you.
That is so cool that it's 1 year with today is 21st. We're recording this interview is on 21st, so 21st is 1 year anniversary.
Exactly.
On this channel, we promised our viewers to explain hard things easy. So could you please tell our viewers about your project in one sentence?
Sure. So Wanchain is the initial code base is from Ethereum with added privacy protection using Monero ring signatures and one-time addresses, and cross-chain mechanism with the locked accounts, which I can go into more detail after. But anyone familiar with Solidity will be able to deploy a smart contract on Wanchain.
Okay. Going back to the sweet 2017, you've closed an ICO in just 12 minutes, and with a cap of 121,500 Ethereum. That's a really good result, I would say. Could you explain how, or tell how did you guys accomplish that?
Yeah, sure. So we had a really good network of the community and the investors as part of that. Some of the pre-sale also helped us on a strategic level, which I know in many cases you'll have investors in the pre-sale or in the private sale that don't really offer strategic value. But in this case, we're able to leverage those contacts and help build a community of developers, of non-techs, and technical folks as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're a Chinese/American platform, and we have a feeling that what we know about Chinese community is just a very small part of it. Could you tell how is the community there, and how is mining going, and what regulations do they have right now?
Sure. So the taboo subject there really is about cryptocurrency. Blockchain is booming in China. You'll have in Shanghai, in Hangzhou, and in Beijing, millions, hundreds of millions of dollars of investments from private funds as well as the government. And they're creating these startup cities called tech startups that are really just focused on incubating startup projects within blockchain. And the community is very big in China. Once the ban happened, what the loophole there was then to do everything through the private sale. But then even more scams occurred. So the government had to step in at some point to try and control what they could, because scams were happening a lot more than we could see with the media, because of course it's, so a lot of things there went unnoticed to the mass media.
Okay.
And that was really what made the government step in and put a stop to all these cryptocurrency ICOs that in the end didn't really have a vision.
Okay, so you're saying a ban, so they've banned ICO and cryptocurrency, and they allow blockchain, or how is it done?
So they just banned the ICOs, and that's why the loophole there was doing a private sale with accredited investors. And now the cryptocurrency is not banned, but there's just quite a lot of regulation in terms of trading. You had to refund the Chinese residents and citizens if they participated in ICOs. So you had to give them that offer at least in 2017. And then there's also the whole community around blockchain is also part of cryptocurrency. But it's very difficult there to get a real understanding of where it's going. But the government has seen that blockchain is going to play an integral role in the future, in present and future. So that's why they're allocating these resources to that. But cryptocurrency, as it is still a bit of a taboo subject. But everything you hear about mining being banned and that is not happening.
Okay, so it's not as bad as we thought. Okay.
No, it's not as bad.
Great. Tell about OneLab and what's its mission.
Sure. So OneLab is an incubator accelerator, and it's really to provide different projects that leverage our privacy cross-chain features for the road ahead. So there's the blockchain advisory, there's technical guidance they get from our engineers. In some cases, we also provide funding to support startup costs and necessary activities.
Great.
Introductions to legal support, and then we have the whole marketing, PR, and community advisory, which we can offer these projects. In some cases, a project comes in and they only want to do one or two things from this, but the whole package is also available if the project needs it. And there's a heavy due diligence process in place that we've set to make sure that the right projects come through. And I think right now there's over 40 in our pipeline.
Great, that's really cool. And the next question is, I assume you're also looking at Eastern Europe, and have you had plans to visit Russian-speaking countries in near future?
Unfortunately, we haven't been able to visit yet, but it's something we've been talking about for a while internally. And really, the focus now is on expanding our community in Eastern Europe and in South America. So those are two core missions moving forward in terms of community growth. And also for the marketing part, we want to have a team there, a local team that can help us with the right contacts, investors, also for OneLabs, give them some exposure there.
Okay. All exchanges that you're traded on are, they have Asian roots. And when reaching and coming into Eastern Europe, it would be good for the comfort of the community to get listings on local exchanges. Have you walked through that yet?
Yeah, we definitely have. I think it's great to have local exchanges because we're able to provide the liquidity to people who are not able to have an account on one of the current exchanges. And as the roadmap goes on and we further develop the tools and the platform on Wanchain, then we're able to have even more use cases. So the liquidity part is something that's really necessary, and we're happy to work with. We'll contact local exchanges in order to provide this so people can access the coin from anywhere.
Great. 2017 was a year of a word, and as I see right now, maybe 2018 is a first year where what we can call is a year of an action, if you know what I mean.
Exactly.
Can you tell about the results and accomplishments of the platform?
Sure. So in January 2018, we released the 1.0 mainnet, and the privacy features were already implemented, which included the Monero ring signatures and the one-time addresses for private transactions. This is also very important because you're able to then create private smart contracts, which will then be able to hide parts of the input to, if you have sensitive data, if there were medical records or financial data, and you need some information in the public ledger, but some of that information hidden, then of course that is a perfect example of how you can leverage those privacy features. The other is the 2.0, which was a month ago, and that marked the successful interoperability integration with Ethereum. And what's important about this integration is that it proves that our cross-chain mechanism works, at least with a similar code basis as us. Of course, now our team's working really on the Bitcoin integration, and that will essentially prove that our cross-chain mechanism will work with any public or private blockchain. And we think it's a very scalable solution, the whole proxy token locked accounts mechanism.
Okay. It's good that you've started talking about scalability. I ask this question basically everyone. The biggest problem of blockchain projects is security and scalability. How do you manage these tasks in the project?
So currently the nodes that we have, so in regards to your question about security, the nodes that we have currently deployed on Wanchain are across various zones. And of course the team is currently in control of these nodes, and it's the permission proof of work, but we are going to open up to a proof of stake consensus to the public in sometime in 2019. The team is researching on the best consensus just because we want everything to be perfect once it's out. And there's been a few instances of proof of stake which we've looked at, but we weren't too sure. And if you deploy that from the start and something goes wrong with the network, then it's very hard to gain that trust again. So we want to make sure that everything is rolled out in a way that it just doesn't come out instantly. It's rolled out slowly, and we are able to do lots of security checks across those nodes. And then also for the locked accounts, so for the cross-chain mechanism, we're going to be opening up our Storeman nodes before 2019. In this way, we also ensure that no one is able to do a 51% attack. The civil attacks are not possible either with a proof of work. So it gives us time to find the best consensus for the community.
Great.
And then scalability is something that the team we're going to assign a few people to look further into this. There's quite a few projects that are looking into this, but what we said from the start, we want to do what we're best at. So our competitive advantage is our cross-chain mechanism and the privacy. And the majority of the development team is focused on that part. But at the same time, we'll slowly open up to having a team that will be dedicated to researching into different scalability options, as well as partnering with a few universities that will be able to help us with the R&D, which I think is very exciting.
And when is this going to happen approximately?
So we're looking more around to mid to end of 2019.
Okay, and with security, you've said 2019, so it's about the same time with the POS. Okay.
But then for the Storeman nodes, so the nodes in charge of the cross-chain mechanism and the locked accounts, those will be opened up slowly before 2019. So we'll be having some updates about that in the coming month. Okay.
Cool. So before we had this is the last question. Before we had a tradition that a guest that is coming to an interview would bring or prepare some kind of gift for our viewers. And now, since we have this, we are away from each other. Can you give a really sensible advice as a gift to our viewers?
Sure. So it's very important to do your own research. It's very important to ask the right questions. This goes for projects, it goes for people you talk to, funds, pretty much anyone in the space. And always make sure, even when someone tells you something, just make sure that whatever is being told is the right thing, because there's a lot of false information, not just in the space, but across any industry, and sometimes projects have to delay things because they take into account the whole security, and they want to make sure that something, when it's released, that it's great and not that it will be potential for bugs and so forth. So the best is doing your own research, asking the right questions, and looking really into the tech of each project, because there's so much out there, and there's a lot of scams and all that going on. So just make sure that all that is done properly. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's one of the best advices I can give.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Oliver. That is all I'd like to know. Thank you.
Perfect.
Okay, guys, so this was Oliver Birch from Wanchain. If you have any more questions that I didn't cover, you can write them down in comments, and we'll answer them. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe to our channel. You were watching Crypto Dealers. Bye.